What's going on, guys? It's Mighty Manotaur. I'm with my brother Kyle, a.k.a. DrumKid92.
Hello.
What's up? So today we're talking about E3 press conferences. This video is going to be focused on Sony's press conference. We are doing videos for each separate one. I'm making a playlist that includes all of them. I will have the link on the screen and in the description, so be sure to check those out. We each brought 5 real predictions and 1 not so real prediction of something crazy that might happen that would be either funny or awesome, but really won't happen. So we're both Sony guys, like not Sony fanboys because I hate that term, but we both have PS4s, had PS3s. We definitely tend to align more with Sony, and so there's a lot riding on this press conference for us, I think.
Especially because Microsoft has such a strong one lined up.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing that helps me feel like I'm not a fanboy. Microsoft's slate of games coming out in the next year, 2 years looks really, really good.
Sure
and
does.
I really wish that I could afford an Xbox One because I'd love to play a lot of this stuff.
Yeah,
but
same here.
On the Sony side, they have a lot of catching up to do, especially this year. After pushing Uncharted 4 back into 2016.
Yeah.
I think they need to have something, some new announcement of something coming out in 2015. Some of my predictions deal a little bit with that. I don't know about you, but what do you have for number 1?
Ratchet & Clank, man. The reboot. Okay. Ratchet & Clank reboot. They're going to show off some gameplay stuff. Yeah, I know.
They've already announced they're pushing that stuff back to 2016. But
yeah,
you think
I think they pushed it back because they want it to happen in concert with the movie.
Definitely.
And so I think the movie production is taking longer than they anticipated, so they're pushing the game back to have a synchronized launch with the movie.
And they've already said it's a reboot of the first game, which is exciting.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like I hear lots of people complaining about Ratchet & Clank, just the oversaturation of it, and they want it to just take a break.
There isn't really an oversaturation, honestly.
I don't feel that at all. I love
the stuff
Ratchet
they've
Clank.
released. Yeah, the stuff they've released recently, like Into the Nexus, like those games are bite-sized games. They're not full games.
Yeah, I mean, I platinumed that. It was one of my favorite games that came out that year.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm like with All for One and whatever the tower defense game was. What was that one called?
I don't remember. Something Assault.
Yeah,
was it
those like offshoot games were
like
failures.
that was actually a fun game though.
I mean, it was a cool idea, but
yeah, it didn't hold my interest long enough for me to like beat it all the way.
Yeah,
but I still had some fun with it. Yeah. You know.
And there have been a lot of Ratchet and Clank games. I mean, in last
but
generation,
they're all so good.
Last generation, we had what was the
Tools of Destruction?
Tools for Destruction, Quest for Booty, which was the offshoot
the download.
DLC, and then we had Crack in Time, and then Into the Nexus, plus All for One and that Assault Tower Defense game. There was
a third disc game, not counting Nexus. It was Tools of Destruction, Future something.
That's the same game. Ratchet and Clank,
was it?
It's Ratchet. The Future's tagline was Tools of Destruction, Crack in Time, and Into the Nexus. That was kind of like that group of games. Into the Nexus was kind of an epilogue of those 2 games. Trust me, I know. I played the shit out of all of those games. But that leads me to my point. Like, I would be pumped for a new Ratchet and Clank game. And if it's a reboot, great. Like, as long as it's still Ratchet and Clank, I'm fine with all that other stuff. Captain Quark is one of my favorite video game characters. That is my profile icon on PlayStation, so I love those games.
Yeah.
It
was Full Frontal Assault is what that
Full Frontal
tower
Assault
game was.
That's right. My first prediction, and I don't know if you have something about it too, but I think it's going to be they're going to open with Uncharted 4.
Yeah, I have that as my number 4.
Because they pushed it back, there's a lot of even more concern about that game than there was originally once Amy Hennig and a lot of the writing staff and development staff left. And they kind of started from scratch. But after the demo that we saw, what was it, at the PlayStation Experience or wherever, like the big extended demo, or Game Awards maybe? I don't know. But it looked really amazing. I think we're going to get more of that. I think we're going to get another live gameplay demo of it. In tandem, I think that they're going to be announcing Uncharted HD Collection, Uncharted's 1, 2, and 3. I think
on PS4?
On PS4. I think that game is coming out this fall. It's not. I don't think it's being done by Naughty Dog in the way that they made Last of Us Remastered. I think it's being done by like a port studio or some smaller studio. I think they're just going to be basically up-resing it. I think they're going to be taking out like the 6-axis thing, how in Uncharted 1 you threw the grenades with the 6-axis, and that sucked.
Yeah, that sucked.
They're taking that out, obviously. But I think that's coming out this fall, and I think that's going to tide people over till Uncharted 4 comes out in May. I don't think they're going to be announcing a release date or anything, but I think that's when it's coming out. And I think this HD collection will have a beta or some sort of demo for Uncharted 4. If it's multiplayer or some sort of small single-player taste, I think it's going to have something in there.
Okay. I mean, I hesitate to agree with you on the HD collection because later in the PS3 life cycle, they released that double pack of Uncharted 1 and 2. It was like, I think it was like timed. It came out like right after 3. Mm-hmm. I think it was a little after 3 came out. They released that double pack. And that hasn't been super long ago. I want to say that was maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
But here's the logic. This isn't for people like you and I who love
the
series and played it.
This
true. Is for the millions of people that jumped ship from Xbox 360 to PS4.
Yeah.
Same reason they made Last of Us Remastered. They're
Good
taking
point.
the best games from the PS3 library and bringing them to a new generation of gamers, and that's why I think it's going to happen. And I think the bonus of tiding over the hardcore Uncharted fans, I think that's a bonus incentive for it to come out this fall. So that's what I think. I think that's probably a long shot because we haven't heard anything about it. It's been rumored for a long time, obviously. Since the console's launched, it just makes sense for them to port them up, but I think we're going to get that.
Okay.
What else you got?
The God of War 3 remastered. They're going to showcase some more of that.
Yeah, I had that too.
Yeah. Whoop-de-woo. They're just going to show some. They're going to show some more gameplay. Because they've announced like how many different dynamic light things and particle effects they can have going at one time with the new engine and all that crap. I think we're going to finally see some extended gameplay stuff on that.
Yeah.
Because they've been pushing that pretty hard. And then at the end of that, I think, is when they announce another God of War game.
Same. I totally agree. I think it's really disappointing that it's just God of War 3 and not the trilogy.
Yep.
But I don't know. I don't know why they're doing it that way. I don't know why that makes sense. Because I feel like to get the overarching story, you kind of need to play all of them. But
I agree.
I do think that is a good jumping off point to announce a new God of War game. I think it's just going to be a really short teaser, little stinger at the end of whatever God of War 3 stuff they show. Because I don't think that game's coming out anytime soon.
Yeah. What I think is especially weird about them only doing 3 is that if people are just picking that up, like you said, the converters, if they're just picking up 3, that 3 starts with the Battle of the Titans.
Yeah.
Like, what the...
People
are going to have no
lost.
Context for anything.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a weird decision, but I'm sure there's some sort of technical reason why they did it that way. But I don't even understand that because you can play God of War 1 and 2. They are on PS3 in that bundle. So I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but I'm not a business person. I also have... I think that they, like we were saying at the beginning, I think that they have to announce some new stuff. And even if it's not stuff that's coming out this year, they need to catch up to Microsoft in their game announcements, and especially because Microsoft's conference will be coming first, and we'll probably be getting some new game announcements. I think that one of the Sony studios that has been dormant will finally release their games, or unveil their games. So we've got Guerrilla has been working on some kind of game. Sony Bend has been working on some kind of game. Who are the Little Big Planet people? Media Molecule. They've been working on some kind of game. So I think one of those developers will unveil their new game, if it's a sequel or new IP or whatever. I think for this press conference, I think it's Sony Bend. I think they are announcing a new IP, a brand new game coming out in 2016. No idea what it's going to be, but I think that that's what they're going to do. And they'll save like the Guerrilla unveil for like Gamescom or something. But I think this year we're going to finally be seeing what all these studios are up to, and I think Sony Bend is going to happen at this conference.
All right. I had Quantic Dream on mine.
Yeah, same.
I think we're going to see the new Quantic Dream thing. Yeah. I'm inclined to agree.
Any kind of anticipation of what that might look like, what that game might be?
It's going to look like a Quantic Dream game. It's going to be gorgeous, and it's going to have weird gameplay mechanics.
Yeah.
It's going to be about death in some way, shape, or form.
They've already come out and said that the Kara thing that they put out a couple of years ago, they're not making that into a game. They had the tech demo, was it last year or 2 years ago, with the wizard?
Right.
I think that was 2 years ago, and then later they showed, like, they broke the fourth wall, and it was, like, actually an actor that was doing it, like, something weird with that. I don't know if that might end up being a game. I'm not huge on Quantic Dream's stuff. I can respect what they do from afar, but I've never been super interested in it. Until Dawn is a game, that horror game that's coming out, that looks a little bit like a Quantic Dream game.
Oh, yeah, we don't have a release date on that yet.
No. In the way that you play it, it seems a little bit like a Quantic Dream game, and I'm interested in Until Dawn. So I don't know, maybe I'll go back. Like, I've never played Heavy Rain, which I feel like I should. But I don't know.
Dude, that game is really good.
I could see that happening. With as long as it takes for them to make games, it might be a little early for them to announce that after Beyond Two Souls came out. What was it? Was it last year or the year before?
I think it was the year before, wasn't it?
So we'll see. I definitely think it could happen, but obviously we're both on the same page. Some Sony developers got to announce what they're working on because they've been lying dormant for a really long time.
Yeah, it's going to be some new game. My last one is No Man's Sky. Because, I mean, it has to be there.
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah. You think it's coming out this year?
I do. I do think it's coming out this year. I think that's what they announced.
They gave it like a loose 2015 a while ago. I don't think that they're going to be ready. I don't think that with their current pattern of delaying games to 2016, I don't think they can announce that it's being delayed anytime soon. So I think the smarter thing is to just go dark on No Man's Sky. I don't think we see anything from this at the press conference. Whatever his name is, the head developer behind Hello Games, he's come out and said in interviews, because he hates doing press conferences, he hates doing interviews, he's just not that type of guy. He's come out and said, like, we came out too early. We got the hype for this game up so big when we were so far away from it being done. I don't want to show this game until we're ready for it to launch. And I don't think it's ready for it to launch anytime soon. I don't think it's coming out this year, but even if it is, I still don't see them showing it at E3 unless they know 100% it can come out November 17th or whenever the hell it is. Unless they know, like, the game is basically done, I don't think we're going to see anything more from it here. I think we'll see more from it more towards the fall because I think it's going to be coming out sometime in 2016.
Okay.
But yeah, that's not one of my predictions, but I don't think we're seeing No Man's Sky. I do have... This is probably a little bit more a long shot, but I think we're going to see something about the big expansion for Destiny at the Sony press conference.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had already said their plan was, in that season pass, they had the 2 DLCs, second of which, House of Wolves, just came out a few weeks ago.
Right.
And then they'd be having a bigger expansion coming out some point in the fall of this year. I don't know that that's ever been really confirmed, but that was really the heavy rumor, and that leaked photo of them at some kind of meeting where they called it a comet drop, which was supposed to happen in the fall at some point. I think that that's going to be their big expansion. I think it's coming out like in December, maybe January, and I think that they not necessarily detail it because House of Wolves came out so recently they don't want to be looking that far ahead, but I think we're going to get some sort of story trailer, some sort of teaser for it saying more info coming this fall. That's kind of what I think.
Okay. Maybe with this final expansion, it will have enough content to justify the initial purchase.
Honestly, I've been playing a lot of House of Wolves since it came out. I don't know what it is about that game. There are so many issues that it has, but I still find myself playing it a couple times a week. I still have fun with it. The actual gameplay is so good, I still want to play it.
Yeah.
I will never be able to get to that endgame content because I don't play with anyone else. So a lot of the stuff that's come out in House of Wolves, like there is a 3v3 PvP like kind of tournament thing.
Yeah, where if you win 9 of them in a row
you get
without losing, then you get all that awesome gear.
Which I will never be able to play because I don't have 2 other people to play with, much less 2 people to play with that are really good that we would actually stand a chance in that. And then they have the kind of horde mode, which is a 3-person thing where there is matchmaking for it, which I haven't tried out yet. I will try it out because I'm high enough level now to where I can kind of compete in that kind of thing. But again, there's so much strategy that goes into it, I just can't really play it. So that bums me out because like I want to be more into Destiny than I can be. So I don't know. With this new expansion, I hope that they give more people on the single player side stuff to do. A lot more story. That's what I want to see.
Right.
We'll see.
Because I mean, that's like there was almost none of that in the game.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't tell you a single story beat from when I played that game, and like I played the whole campaign part of it, and that's kind of when I traded it in because I had messed around with some of the multiplayer stuff. I had, farmed a little bit, and then I decided, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and beat the campaign. So I have full access to all this stuff, and then I was done.
Yeah, and I don't want this to turn into a Destiny video, but
right.
A lot of that has gotten better with the expansions, especially the most recent one. It's still a lot of go here and do this and kill a bunch of guys with some voiceover, but like the voice acting is much more improved. The new character that they've introduced actually has some depth and backstory, and really the character from Dark Below, Eris, who was like, she was a very interesting character too. So a lot of that is getting better.
Okay.
But the foundation on the technical side just doesn't exist to support a much more story-focused game. So they really need to reboot a lot of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can do that with an expansion. Just technically, I don't know if that's possible, or if that will have to wait till Destiny 2, where they can sell you a new disc, where they can really start from scratch. But that game's really a mystery, because like, what are their plans? Are they going to sell you a Destiny 2 on disc that you won't have had to play Destiny 1 to enjoy, or will it always just be expansions, like an MMO? Like, I have no idea what any of that looks like. Hopefully they have good plans for it, but I imagine their original plan has really changed based upon all the negative feedback that they've gotten. But it's enough Destiny talk. I do think we will see some at the Sony press conference because the marketing has really been Sony-focused, so I think it makes the most sense to be there. So, what, you got one more final prediction?
No, No Man's Sky was my final one.
So my last one is Last Guardian. I think every year we say this is the year, and I will say again this year, I think this is the year.
All right, so this is one of your actual predictions.
Yes, my actual prediction.
That's my joke prediction.
So realistically, I think they close it with this. I think they re-unveil it being a PS4 game. I don't think they give like a release date or anything, but I think they show us what the game has turned into. Some sort of extended trailer to end the press conference. So what kind of crazy idea did you have for it?
All right. So my idea for The Last Guardian, how they're going to announce that it's coming out, is they have a genetically engineered actual winged creature come on stage.
Okay.
And make a lot of loud noises and probably kill a few audience members.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck you, this is The Last Guardian. We weren't making a game, we were making a beast. And we're unleashing it on the E3 crowd. So The Last Guardian isn't so much a game as it is a weapon.
Yeah. That would definitely make it memorable.
Right.
My crazy prediction is just about as crazy as a real-life bird dog monster.
Okay.
My crazy prediction is Call of Duty Black Ops 3 demo on the Sony press conference stage.
That would be insane.
Yeah. Not Microsoft,
that would be
but
showstopper.
Sony. I know that they renewed Microsoft's DLC exclusivity deal a couple of years ago. I don't know how long that time frame was, but it has been confirmed all of the big video game outlets like IGN, GameSpot, places like that have gone to do Call of Duty Black Ops 3 demos, they have played them on PlayStation 4s.
Interesting.
Which has never happened before. It's always been on an Xbox 360. Last year it was on Xbox One. This year, all of them, when they were there playing the new game, it was on a PS4. And Activision, they want to make money, and they see PlayStation 4 as being... I mean, anything can change, and if it was to ever happen, it would be this year in terms of Microsoft catching up to Sony.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't happen this holiday, I think it's pretty much guaranteed that Sony will be the quote-unquote winner of this generation, at least in the short term. Because, I mean,
right.
with the Xbox 360, they were unequivocally the winner of last generation, even though by the end of the generation worldwide, PS3 ended up selling more copies, more consoles than Xbox. But in the US specifically, which is the biggest market, Xbox 360 trounced the PS3.
Yeah.
PS4 is trouncing the Xbox One everywhere, and it only continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, one of Microsoft's biggest exclusives last year, Titanfall, that month, PS4 still outsold Xbox One, and the PS4 had no big game that came out really that month.
Right.
So I think writing is on the wall. PS4 is going to sell more than the Xbox One this year, which doesn't mean Xbox One's not going to sell well. It already is selling really well. But I think Activision is seeing that, and I think they're going to partner with, quote-unquote, the winning team. I don't actually think that's going to happen. I think that Microsoft has the money to afford doing this, and Sony doesn't. So I realistically, I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be the same thing where Microsoft has a big Call of Duty demo on their stage, but pie in the sky, crazy prediction is that Black Ops 3 will be on the Sony stage.
Interesting.
It would definitely be insane. But those are our Sony E3 press conference predictions.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, what do you think is going to happen? Is Last Guardian a game? Are we going to see it? What crazy
is it a game or a death-defying experience of horror?
Yeah. So there you go. Thanks, guys, for watching. Check out the playlist for all the other E3 press conference videos, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.